What was your most disappointing sexual experience? When I went in for doggy, and I had to hold my nose cause it smelled like she hadn't wiped her butt. Smells get me every time, dude. Out of any orifice, make sure your stuff is clean before messing around. Too many people place immediate sex over cleanliness, and it does not pay off, ever. Used to sleep with a coworker right after work and she'd get so mad that I'd ruin the moment and shower first. Like, sorry, I've been sweating all day, and I can't be confident in bed knowing I smell like a hot dog. On a weekend getaway, my beautiful girlfriend at the time dressed up as a sexy dominatrix and surprised me, which ordinarily would be my fantasy dream come true. But as I'm mildly manic depressive, and happen to be in a depressive phase, I couldn't get aroused, not even a little. I felt terrible, and very sad. I tried to explain it wasn't her. She left me soon after for her ex-boyfriend. I had an ex tie me up and ride me once. I thought I'd love it, but I hated it. I hated losing control. I can't do tie downs. I'm 100% for a girl taking charge, but once I don't have an escape the panic sets in. It's universal, though, not sex specific. I can crawl into a box no problem, so long as I know I can open it. Dude, getting my hand stuck in my shirt as a dumbass kid used to give me mad anxiety, I feel ya. My first blowjob was a terrible experience. Me and my partner were both very inexperienced, but I had a tiny bit more. I went down on her to start, and when it was her turn she literally licked my dick for about 10 seconds. Then kinda gnawed for a second which hurt like hell, then complained she didn't like it, completely oblivious to the fact that she had literally bit my dick. I'm so sorry, because I know it's awful, but I literally just cackled like a crazy person and now I can't catch my breath. Oh god. Young people and their interpretation of how to do oral sex is such a horror show. Losing my virginity. He was older than me, kept bragging about all his experience and how I definitely get off. Took me to his dad's house and decided to put on a movie. I should mention this was our first date and I was terrified. I literally didn't even see the first frame of that movie before he was on top of me and we were making out. Sexy time came and he didn't have protection. I stopped him and he got frustrated and I was a dumbass, so I said it's fine. Then the most horrible pain, and I swear it lasted forever. He kept asking if I was coming, so I faked like 4 orgasms to hide my pain and discomfort. There was very little actual pleasure, nothing like he hyped it up to be. I missed my ex, and I wanted it to be over. After that we played Uno with his whole family. He ended up sleeping with my best friend the next weekend and I went to the hospital for a UTI, so there's that. Literally have never regretted something so much in my entire life. Was getting down with a chick for first time that was an amateur MMA fighter, reached hand down for some bottom half foreplay, and she quickly pulled my hand away but not before I felt that she was trying to hide a very large clit. Which is not an issue at all. I totally could have gotten into that and wanted to. I thought it was kinda hot, but her shame about it and the fact that she thought she successfully avoided my noticing limited the freedom of what I could do with her. The lack of freedom to explore and reciprocate kept me from getting turned on. She noticed and still attempted to put a condom on with her mouth for some reason, which failed horribly and made me feel embarrassed. We cut our losses and gave up. Laying in bed after failed sex sucks. The year in your username concerns me. Couldn't get it up for the most beautiful woman I've ever had the chance to sleep with. Somebody who I actually lusted after for several years. The bartender, a friend, kept giving us free Jagger, which seemed like a good idea at the time, but it all added up to a flaccid dick. Never got another shot. My bartender friend still thinks it's hilarious. Oh damn, I know that. Took a few tries to work out that when sex is a possibility I gotta switch to water. Let me just piggyback with a sappho men. Alcohol in sufficient volume makes your dick not work. That's not a reflection on you as a man. That's a reflection on how alcohol just makes your dick not work right. And that's okay. Why? Because you drank too much. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you drank too much, are with a woman and your dick just ain't working, do two things. First, let the girl know it's not her, it's that you drank too much. That's what happens. Second, go down on her and let her know that even as your dick is being a bee, you're still into it. Often, you'll sober up a little while going down, and then your dick says, yeah well maybe I can man up, but don't drink that much again. Source, I've absolutely told a naked woman to her disappointed face, lady you saw me drink all those whiskeys, don't take it personally. I'll get you good in the morning. Give this man an award. Best way is to talk about it. Sometimes this alone breaks the tension and makes things less awkward. The first time with someone new I usually am nervous, so I just tell her that it might not work as intended because I'm too nervous. But that does absolutely not mean that the encounter is over. Talking with this guy who went on and on about how he could last in the bedroom for hours, basically promised to be an energizer bunny, pun intended. We get together, things are going hot and heavy, slides in and his eyes widen in horror as he just nuts without warning. His excuse being that it had been a while and I was tighter than he expected. I laughed it off, but there was a small part of me like, man, I'm gonna have to ninja one out in the shower edit. Reading through some replies, I should say he was genuinely sorry and he made it up to me much later. It was just the hype and subsequent letdown. I don't expect my men to be perfect or go for hours all the time. Seems like most guys who brag about this are full of themselves. Buddy of mine was blunt about this when he told women what to expect. He was probably going to nut in 5 minutes. If there was no condom involved, appropriate relationship level and other birth control involved, he's just go straight through for 45 minutes on the next round, no break in the action. If there was a condom, he was going to be smart, remove the condom, work to get her off manually/orally while waiting for his reset, then go back for round 2 once he was hard enough again for a condom. 20+ minute go that time. Every time he had the conversation, they would be a little dubious about the promises of him working on them while waiting for round 2, but it was usually at the right time for that conversation and they would try it. I never heard any of his partners complain afterwards, and at least one girlfriend mentioned in a conversation about sex that she really liked his honesty about it and his follow through. So the message for any Energizer Bony guys is to make sure you follow through and get her off while you wait for the later in the night fun for yourself. Knew a girl through mutual friends and matched with her on Tinder. She was very direct, asking about my height and dick length. I took her out to dinner first, and when I brought her to my room I ate her out like a gentleman. As we were about to have sex she started crying about her ex-boyfriend because it was his birthday. We ended up not having sex. We watched an episode of the Great British Bake Show on Netflix and made out as she left back to her car. I then later invited her to hang out with some of our mutual friends. She never responded and ghosted me. This was my second worst Tinder experience. I tried my hand at making Pornhub content and wanted to add some spicy new material, so I asked a friend to bring over his camera and take some sexy time videos. I'd never met him prior to this, but seeing as he worked as a video editor, I knew he'd be able to get some money shots. Now I mentioned this in a previous post, but I just want to clarify that the disappointment didn't come from him unexpectedly being well below average in size, but in the foreplay itself. He removed all his clothes without any foreplay whatsoever, literally no kissing or caressing or any of the good stuff leading up to the act. Mind you, I was still fully dressed at that point. He kept asking to record, but it was so awkward that I just decided against it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing to see more Reddit reading videos. Have an awesome day.